Hello, my dear children and parents. Welcome to class 9th of Indus Valley Public School Raj, where we were doing lesson number 3 from your Moments book. And the name of the lesson is Ishwaran the Storyteller, written by R.K. Lakshman. Here in this lesson, we have studied about Ishwaran the Storyteller. He used to narrate the story in such a manner that the listener he used to feel that all the story is coming alive in front of their eyes. It appears to be real. His stories were the source of entertainment for Mahendra, and Mahendra was the person. He was a senior supervisor in a firm, and he used to stay alone, and Ishwaran was the cook for Mahendran. Okay, so how this Ishwaran used to narrate the story, it was really very nice. He used to give special effects, he used to give voice modulation, and he even uses the body language to make the story realistic, and the listener used to get attracted and captivated into his stories. Okay, my dear children, so we have seen in the story we have two characters, Mahendra the junior supervisor and Ishwaran the cook of the Mahendra. Now coming to the summary of the lesson, Ishwaran's story was told to Ganesh by Mahendra, who worked as a junior supervisor at different construction sites. As Mahendra was unmarried, he was able to live in temporary shelters provided by the construction company. Ishwaran accompanied Mahendran wherever he went. He was an advantage to him as he provides him company, cooked food for him, and even washes clothes. Mahendra says that Ishwaran would gather all the things required to prepare a meal within no time. Every morning, Mahendra would get ready, eat his breakfast, take his lunch along, and go for his work. In the meantime, Ishwaran would clean the living place, wash the clothes, take a bath, eat his lunch, read his favorite Tamil storybook, and take a nap. In the evening, Ishwaran would entertain Mahendra with his stories. He had the art of storytelling, and he would use his body, gesture, facial expression, and voice modulation in order to bring his characters to life. Even though the stories seem untrue, Ishwaran narrated them in such a unique way that Mahendra listened to them with curiosity. Ishwaran would start a story and an introduction. He would lay the background of the character, followed by the story. He described a simple incident in such detail along with action that it would create suspense in the listener's mind. Once he told Mahendra the story of an elephant that had escaped from the jungle and entered the town. The beast reached Ishwaran's school. As it destroyed the school property, all the students locked themselves up in the classroom. At that time, Ishwaran was studying in one of the junior classes. He was watching the incident from the rooftop. He took a stick from the teacher and came downstairs in the ground. He walked towards the elephant as it threatened to attack him. Ishwaran was not scared of it. He gathered all his strength and hit the elephant on its toenail quickly. This attack stunned the elephant. It fainted and fell on the ground. He did not complete the story and said that he was getting late for the dinner. He went to get the dinner, but Mahendra was curious to know what happened. Next, the Ishwaran did not continue with the story. Mahendra had to remind him that the ending was pending. Then Mahendra said that a veterinary doctor was called. He brought the elephant back to consciousness, and after 2 days, a Mahout was called who took the elephant back to the jungle. Mahendra asked Ishwaran that how did he manage to overpower the huge beast. Ishwaran replied that he used the technique of a Japanese martial art, which was earlier karate or jujitsu. He had read about it somewhere that the martial art was able to make a person unconscious by paralyzing the nervous system. Every day Ishwaran would narrate one or other story which was entertaining for him and fulfilled the absence of a television in his living quarter. One morning Ishwaran asked permission to cook a special dinner as it was the day when they cooked meals for the dead elders of the family. That evening Mahendran enjoyed a tasty meal and complimented Ishwaran on his cooking skills. As Mahendra was relaxing after the meal to his disliking, Ishwaran started narrating a story related to ghosts and supernatural powers. He said that the factory area where they lived was earlier a burial ground. That very first day, he had a human skull lying around. He added that he was not afraid of ghosts and saw many bones and skulls. On a full moon night, he saw an ugly ghost of woman who had a shrunken face, matted hair, and held a unborn baby in its arms. Mahendra was uneasy and scolded Ishwaran for talking nonsense. He said that ghosts did not exist and ordered him to get himself examined as he thought that he had gone mad. Since that day, Mahendra felt uneasy and would peep out of window in order to check the presence of any ghost around. One night, Mahendra woke up from his sleep as he heard someone crying. At first, he thought that it was a cat looking for mice. As the sound became more harsh and deep, Mahendra could not ignore it and gave it to the desire of peeping out of the window. As he looked out, he saw the white moonlight and a dark shadow holding a bundle in its arm. As he saw the ghost, he started sweating, breathing heavily, and fell back on the bed. After some time, Mahendra thought that probably his subconscious mind was playing a trick on him, and actually there was no ghost. He got ready the next morning and had forgotten the incident of the previous night. Ishwaran greeted him and gave him his lunch bag. He said that a few days ago Mahendra had scolded him for discussing the ghost, but last night he saw it himself. Ishwaran had heard Mahendra cry at night. It was confirmed that Mahendra had seen the ghost the previous night and it was not a trick played by his mind. Once again, Mahendra was frightened. He left in a hurry and resigned from the job. He could not live at a haunted place for a single day. So this is your summary. You're completed with the summary. Now coming to the question answers of the lesson. In what ways is Ishwaran an asset to Mahendra? Ishwaran is an asset to Mahendra as he accompanies him everywhere. He cooks food for him, washes his clothes, cleans the living place, and entertains him with his unique stories. How does Ishwaran describe the uprooted tree on the highway? What effect does he want to create in his listeners? Ishwaran would raise his eyebrows in a curve and raise his arm in a dramatic gesture. He would say that once he was walking down the empty highway all alone. He saw a huge beast lying on the road. He thought of going back, but as he got closer, he saw that it was a tree that had broken and had fallen on the road. Its branches appeared to be the beast's limbs that had spread out onto the road. He wanted to create a scene in listener's mind so that he would get captivated in the story. Ishwaran wanted to create curiosity in the mind of the listener as to what happened next in the story. How did he narrate the story to the Tuskers? Does it appear to be plausible? Firstly, he gave an introduction that his village was surrounded by a dense forest. The wood was processed at the timber yard and the logs of timber were transported onto the lorries by elephant. He added that the beasts were huge and in case one of them went mad, it would not be controlled even by an experienced Mahout. He would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation. of the Mad Elephant. Ishwaran's talent of narrating the story was praiseworthy. He put into a lot of efforts to make it engrossing for the listener. Next question. Why does the author say that Ishwaran seemed to more than make up for the absence of a television in Mahen's living quarter? Ishwaran seemed to more than make up for the absence of a TV in Mahen's living quarters because his stories were so entertaining that every night they made up for the absence of a TV in Mahen's living place. He would enjoy the unique way in which Ishwaran narrated a story which was full of adventure, suspense, and horror. Mahendra called ghost or spirit a figment of the imagination. What happens to him on a full moon night? Mahendra scolded Ishwaran and said that ghosts do not exist. On a full moon night, he woke up from his sleep as he heard someone crying. At first, he thought that it was a cat which was hunting mice, but as the sound grew louder and harsher, he was tempted to peep out of the window. In the white moonlight, he saw a dark, shady figure holding a bundle in its arms. Initially, he got scared, but overcame it as he felt that his subconscious mind had played a trick on him. The next day, the presence of the ghost was confirmed by the Ishwaran, and Mahendra realized that he actually saw a ghost the previous night. He did not want to live at a haunted place and so resigned from the job. Can you think of some other ending of the story? Do it yourself. So children, this is a homework for you people, that if you can draft any story that will end in different way. So you can have the starting of the story from here and you can end it some other way. Okay, so this is your homework, that you have to draft a story in different ending. Okay children, so complete your work, write your summary in your notebook as well as the question answers in your notebook, and do forward me your notebook for corrections. Okay, any problem please do ask me. Thank you so much. Bye bye and take care.